I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Akakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone for pushing this truth. And shalom to those laboring with them and under them, and to them as well. This is Jaikwab, son of Sears Jr., son of Sears Sr. I'm not really sure to begin. It's too much going on. So with the with what's happening with what's his name, Lunchbox, creepy president, on December 13th with the central bank and what everything else that's going on around the world. And what is this $80 million missing? Anyway, I wanted to talk about money for dummies. The book of Genesis, chapter 13, verse 2. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. So he wasn't rich in yuan, and pesos, dinero, moolah, money, cha-ching, whatever anybody wants to call it. Chump change, big bank, little bank. He wasn't rich in that. And Abram, the book of Genesis chapter 13, verse 2, this is what riches are in the eyes of God, whose name is Yahweh. And in the eyes of Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. The book of Genesis chapter 13, verse 12. And Abram was very rich in cattle. So the same way today you see people might breed dogs. Well, what do they do with the dogs that they breed? They sell them. So it's the same thing with cattle. Abram had a lot of cattle, so he could barter with that cattle. He can even rent the cattle if he wanted to. Rent a center type thing, Salakia. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver and in gold. Okay, and you can accumulate more silver and more gold with cattle. The cattle are going to breed, and they're going to get things done. So that was what money used to be until we went into, well, who cares? Okay, that's what Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai intended money to be, for us to barter with and not have to knock anybody upside the head to get an apple.
One of the core problems that Hamilton realized, having lived through the Revolutionary War with George Washington on the battlefield, was the inability of the Continental Congress to raise the requisite amount of funds to help feed and fund the army.
Now, did it sound like that we were in a situation where we needed money after some Revolutionary War? No, we were in slavery. So money, the Federal Reserve note, the currency that we I'm not going to say that we rely on, the currency situation that America relies on was not intended for the slaves that got emancipated. And the word emancipated means transfer of property.
Battle, and he never wanted to go back to that. And so Washington as well realized that. And so they wanted a central government that would at least be able to have taxing power and the power to do those very things.
So our ancestors were slaves while all of this was going on. We were not getting taxed financially. Our flesh was getting taxed. Our spirit was getting taxed. But we weren't getting taxed financially. Okay, we had no access to funds. We just had to work. Now, with that being said, the money was not created for us. And what we're hearing is a system that was put in place so that they can tax each other and basically steal money from each other. through contractual agreements.
Constitutional Convention debated whether or not there should be a national bank, a bank run by the government, and they rejected the idea. But Hamilton, as Treasury Secretary under President George Washington, wanted to revive the idea, and his nemesis Jefferson thought that was a horrible idea because he thought it would create too much centralized governmental power.
Alexander Hamilton becomes Secretary of the Treasury on September 11, 1789, with a strong vision of where the nation should go. And he produced several monumental state papers, of which the bank report is just one of 4.
He basically made the case that it would be convenient to have a national bank as a depository of tax revenues, eliminate the middleman of a private bank in doing that, and he wanted the government to be able to make selective loans.
He spends a lot of time explaining how the great European powers all have access to a quasi-national or state bank for operations that enhance the government. He points out many advantages that banks have for governments and also for regulating trade and commerce for private individuals. And he spends a lot of time also getting ready because he anticipates that there's going to be a lot of blowback and a lot of anti-bank forces. And so he spends a lot of time in the bank report.
Well, it should have been anti-bank forces. The book of the book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 6. Ye have sown much. It means you have worked a lot. You worked very hard. 11-hour days for 5 days in a row. If you're doing construction. No, I'm not talking about Amazon peak season. If you're doing construction, you get up, you're on the site from 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, if you're lucky, maybe 7. If you got the greatest job site at the world. And you're home and you're done by 5, 6 p.m. If you're lucky, it might be 7, 8, 9, depends on if you're pouring concrete or what's going on. Okay, I was a soil technician, I was a concrete technician once upon a time. So, and tested the asphalt too when they laid down roads. So, when you sow much and bring in little, like I was telling somebody the other day, it is factual that in the 50s, 60s, 40s, look into it. To be more specific on what year I'm talking about. A man, or let me get a little more specific. Our forefathers might have been able, if they had the job, if they chose to, I don't know what demons they had on them. Our forefathers would have been able to go to work, come home to their children and their wife that didn't have to work. I ain't gonna say have a black and white TV. Have a radio up in the house. Have a radio up in the house. Have food, have a car. If you didn't have a car, you damn sure had some bus money. Just off that one man working. Okay? The book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Remember how we seen it in all of the movies where they had to ration the food? I'm not going to say that's how your life was. I'm not going to say that's how my life was. But we see in the movies where it looks like our ancestors in the 60s, 70s, they had to ration the food with their little afros and big afros, and they had to ration food, looking all sad at the table. The book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 6, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And ye that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. That's why as a nation, our households cannot get rich. Okay, we've transgressed the laws of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. The blessings of the Father establisheth the foundations, the curses of the mothers uprooteth the blessings of the father establishes the houses, the curses of the mother uprooteth the foundations thereof, as it is written in the book of Sirach. And that just made me want to get this other video I had seen.
Trying to address these.
The Jeffersonians warned that it could be corrupting of politics because there would be the incentive of the government to use this bank as a way of subsidizing politically favored businesses and other special interest groups. And his followers warned him that a bank that could print paper money was a danger, and it could create not only inflation, but also create what we today call boom and bust cycles in the economy. It makes us think we can get something for nothing. But of course, the chickens always come home to roost in the form of price inflation, economic destabilization, recessions, depressions, etc.
Hamilton knew
2023, baby. Here we go. Let's see.
Good things come to those who work. So let's get to work.
Although Andrew Jackson operated as a strong chief executive, he did not always defend greater federal power. As his first term neared an end, Jackson made a decision that would alter the role the federal government played in the economy. What was that decision? The Second Bank of the United States was given a 20-year charter by Congress in 1816. This charter granted the bank the power.
Salakia, and I didn't notice it. I knew about Abraham Lincoln and why the dollar was green. I knew about Kennedy and his little American reserve note or whatever, where the letters are in red on the bill from the 60s. So I knew about Kennedy, blah blah blah, and I knew the story about that's why I had to Google it real quick when he fought the feds and said, God forbid our children, we lose the American history and the central banks come back and do this again. And they did. And we're about to witness what they tried to accomplish before Yahweh Shimei Shah said it was time. Now, the presidents that opposed the central bank put their face on the money. The same way the cartel puts their stamp. The cartel puts the president that's in powers. The cartel stamps their packages. Okay, so the banking cartel stamped their money with the presidents that opposed them. The cartel usually the main top one. I don't get out my business. This is public information. The cartels use the president's. Sometimes they'll put the president's face on the package to mock the president that's in office when the keys come through. So you'll know how old the key is depending on which president's face is on the package. Is what I've been told. On the internet, I guess.
Power to act as the government's financial agent. The bank held the country's deposits, made loans, and regulated the...
On a side note, I know I may mention women, but Jake need a goddamn women, man. Playing all these goddamn slow songs every time you pull up on the block, man. You don't gotta play slow songs every time you come home, man. You coming home. What the hell is wrong with you?
Currency. The bank also transferred federal funds between states, issued banknotes, and handled payments and receipts for the U.S. government. Although the bank's operations were supervised by the President and Congress, around 80% of the bank was privately owned, and its profits benefited a large number of wealthy American and foreign stockholders. Many states, especially in the South, strongly opposed the Second Bank of the United States. In the early years of its existence, it had been riddled by poor financial management and corruption. A great number of small farmers believed that the bank existed mainly to benefit the wealthy ruling elite, and that the institution gave foreign investors too much influence in U.S. policy. Although Jackson realized the important role the bank played in the U.S. economy, he distrusted the institution and even questioned the constitutionality of its existence. He believed that
The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
states,
Slacky.
not Congress, should have the power to control America's banking system. The large number of political opponents who profited from the bank also caused Jackson great ire. The first notable resistance to the Second Bank of the United States came in the form of a lawsuit filed by the state of Maryland. The state attempted to pass a tax that would limit the bank's operation within Maryland's borders. The cashier for the federal bank in Maryland, James McCulloch, refused to pay the tax, and the case went to the Supreme Court. In the landmark case McCulloch v. Maryland, the court ruled that the bank was constitutional and that it did not have to pay the tax. Realizing the unpopularity of the bank,
The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. They've been dealing with this paper money thing for long enough. It's not working. It's not working. Technology's caught up. It's not working with their plan, with what they really want to do. Technology's caught up. Now, in their eyes, they can be very rich in cattle. Salakia, wow. Salakia. Now, in their eyes, they can be very rich, as Abram was, in cattle, in silver, and in gold. And they want us to be the cattle. The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. Wait a minute. What is this mark for? In their right hand or in their foreheads? And that no man may buy or sell, save he that have the mark. It didn't say that no man could have an idea. It didn't say that no man could think a thought. Oh, I think this thought. Oh, no, I got the mark of the beast. I can't think. No, you could think. You could think a thought, but you can't buy or sell. So now what you going to think with your thoughts? Okay, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast. Oh, I hear beast in number. But you don't hear what it says next. For it is the number of a man. So the beast is a man. So it's the mark of a man. Is that too hard for you to understand? Is that too, you mean draw a picture of a beast that turns into a man? Will that help you out? Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man. And his number, who? The beast? Oh, the beast. Yeah, no, the man. And his number is 666. Okay? 6 representing wickedness. And the multiplication of that has meaning as, boom, mark, as well. Boom. But I'm not here to teach you. I'm just here to testify. So, Mark.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma.
The
Charagma.
The haragma, karagma, the haragma. Okay? is Strong's definition, karagma, from the same as G5482, a scratch or etching. So there has to be a scratch or a etching that causes or to buy or sell, given by a man. And the 6 stands for wicked, evil, 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 evil. The 6 stands for evil. And it says 666 3 times. Evil, evil, evil. Make it simple. It could always get deeper. It could always get deeper.
Bank with President Jackson, the bank's director, Nick.
But we're in this deep enough. We're in this deep enough. And there's not enough time for you to sit here and back talk. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the truth. You could back talk me all you want to. I'll just walk away from you. There's not enough time or block you, send you to the block party. You can't call me no more. Party all you want to with the block party. You've been blocked. So when it's all said and done, it's another video I wanted to show as well.
Nicholas Biddle attempted to force the renewal of the bank's charter through Congress.
Promise you, regardless of where you are right now in your life,
And
in
Lord willing,
debt,
I'll put
broke,
all these
no job,
videos
got a job,
in
got
the
$1 million
description
put
box
away or
before
$10 million, I promise you, this
before-
book will change the way you look at finances. It will teach you what the schools never did. The only reason anybody takes
After that Friday jobs report, it was definitely Richard Fisher. He's a senior advisor to Barclays. He serves on the boards of Tenet Healthcare and Warner Brothers Discovery and as a CNBC contributor. And Richard, we don't get to talk to a Fed president, but we get to talk to a former Fed president, and that is pretty darn good for us. So what do you think after that Friday jobs report? It was definitely hotter than...
So he's the former Fed president. So he helped get the Federal Reserve to where it's at today, so that the next president of the Federal Reserve could further the agenda. The same way Obama passed laws that says that any president, any sitting U.S. president could kill any American citizen without trial, without due process, with a shotgun, a shovel, a drone, but the drone can't shoot over the land, it has to shoot over water, and with the baseball bat and with the shotgun and with the shovel and with the firing squad. And I looked at him when he was saying that, and I said, yo, I don't like you no more. As soon as I see him say it out of his mouth, I said, I don't like you no more. And I ain't never liked him since. Off the strength of that coming out of his mouth right there. That's how I get down. You say something, you say the right thing, I don't like you forever. And you might not never know it.
had been expected. Is that going to change Jay Powell and companies' minds?
I don't think so. There's just came across the wire. Again, the Fed whisperer, Nick Timeros, arguing that they might possibly make 250 basis point moves. So this December 14th to be announced. And then.
Okay, so Obama passed the law that he passed. Trump ain't use it. But oh boy, lunchbox, sleepy, creepy Joe, you better hide your children from him. And that's another thing. I got a 9-year-old daughter, man. And I have a shameful jail record, man. I'm not proud of I'm not proud of my past life, man. Okay, nobody wants to get caught. But look, thank Yahweh Shemi outside that I never got caught. Figure that out. Now, it was an incident, and it's public record. That's why I talk about the jail shit, in case they want to bring it up. Because in case they want to bring it up and try to make me look bad, anybody want to pop something. I said it myself, goddammit. So, I'm locked up out Manassas. I make it to the kitchen. I'm working in the kitchen. I didn't know that Esau was in there for. But he keep talking this Catholic crap and how I need to read the Maccabees and read the Apocrypha and how I need the Apocrypha. I don't need the Apocrypha. This Bible is all I need. I didn't know. That was Yahweh Shemi. I was messing with me. I didn't know. Esau was right. Esau knew who he was. And I know that now because he kept saying, oh, you need to know. You need to read it. Yo, you need to read it. You need to know. He was saying shit. He knew who he was. Anyway, working in the kitchen, I used to tell Esau, I used to say, yo, you need to do jumping jacks for Jesus. Since I was on my Mr. Brown stuff. An episode just came out before I got locked up. I said, you need to do jumping jacks for Jesus. Since you love Jesus so much, right? He wouldn't do no jumping jacks for Jesus. So I kept messing with him harder. And then I found out what he was in there for. He was a pedophile. Long story short, I was in the hole. I would say no longer than a week. I ended up in the hole. I don't like pedophiles, man. All right? I personally know 3 to 4 men who've been molested. I personally know over 15 or over 20 women who've been molested and raped. I can't even count. I don't even know. I stopped counting. I don't even want to hear about it no more. I don't like pedophiles. I don't like rapists. Now we got that out the way. I would not follow the doctrine of a rapist. It's not in my makeup. It's not in my makeup. Okay? Inmates don't do that. People on the streets don't do that. People in my family don't do that. And all of the people that grew up, how do I say this? And all of the people that grew up together that was kidnapped from other men, who I call family, don't do that. All right? Without a shadow of a doubt, I do not believe that anyone in GMS is a rapist. Now, with that being said, it is not the Purple Panda organization's fault, so to say, that Joy Morgan died. Is it not written? I'm going to let you see it. I'm going to let you see it. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. IUIC didn't kill Joy Morgan. You know, from my memory, that dude killed Joy Morgan. I kind of remember his mugshot looking crazy. I wound and I heal. Bishop Nate didn't wound and heal, physically wound and heal. See how to choose my words carefully, Purple Panda? Bishop Nate didn't physically wound and or heal Joy Morgan. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Couldn't no Purple Panda save Joy Morgan from what Yahweh Shimei Awashai had destined for her. But I'll tell you this, though. If Bishop Nate would have, let me see, how do I say this? If he would have spoken, continued to keep speaking with the elders and apostles, who eventually became the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, instead of acting like a megalomaniac, look that word up, then, yes, I'm copying somebody. But, Joy Morgan, it would have been no way for Joy Morgan to die at the hands of somebody in the same camp. You're doing arranged marriages. And you're marrying killers with girls who look pretty with glasses on, bro. She was kind of cute with them glasses on. And I like girls with glasses, but not the kind that she wore. And she pulled it off. I don't like girls with glasses, but you know, I find women with glasses attractive too. And the ones Joy Morgan had on that picture they kept flashing on the news, she was kind of cute, man. Cute demon. So with that being said, you know, I don't even know how I got on you. I don't want to talk about no purple shit, man. I don't talk about the Ravens. The book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything in any great matter or small. Okay, so a lot of people are ignorant in money. And a lot of people are ignorant in the central bank, the Federal Reserve, the legislation, and how it's handled to deal with your money, the taxation without representation. The whole country's DC, baby. The taxation without representation. Okay? The fact that the president can only run a corporation by law. Only kings and queens can run country by law. This is the law of the land. Law. Check that out. That's why DC is a corporation. And the different states are like extensions to the parent corporation. That's why DC is an independent city, just like Vatican City and just like London. But it's been like that. I found out 5-6 years ago, 2015, 7 years ago.
In February, I consider that a reasonable thing. And I think the main point here, Becky, is we're still going through this adjustment from free money to money that costs. And
free money, we're going from an adjustment from free money to money that costs. Free money. How do you get free money? What are you talking about, the women? Free money, you got to beg for some money for it to be free. Salakia.
And it's sort of a jerky process in the markets. One of the best investors I know has described it as going from driving automatic to stick shift and, trying to get that down, jerking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I think that's what we're seeing in the financial markets. I don't think that dissuades the Fed, and certainly not Chairman Powell, from doing what has to be done. And it's pretty clear they're not done.
We're looking at the Dow futures right now. Maybe we can put this up tick by tick for the Dow futures, which are now off by about 240 points. We'd been down earlier this morning, but it was closer to down 150. My guess is that's a drop that took place, just as you mentioned, that WSJ headline crossing. You can see right there. We've ticked lower, probably just on the assumption that things could be 50 basis points, and then the Fed waits and sees to figure out what's happening. You can look at the futures or you can look at the bond market. And the yields there, Richard, are indicating that the bond market seems to think the Fed is going to pivot sooner rather.
I cannot find it. Because I can't remember exactly.
Every moment in life is a bet.
So
like betting if Grandpa's in a food coma or a real coma. But life doesn't offer you $200 in free bets when you bet just $5. So bet on FanDuel, now live in Maryland, and make every moment.
Right. Before we're done here, well, Joe Biden, of course, continues to wander his way around the White House, and now it looks like Gavin Newsom says he's not going to run against him. He'll probably get the chance to go around for another 6 years, believe it or not. But Barack Obama throwing a bit of shade at clearly a bloke he does not respect, does not consider as his equal, and it doesn't matter even if Joe got 4 terms, he's still Joe to Barack Obama.
Yeah, I think Barack Obama, was referring to him derisively as Uncle Joe in this soundbite on purpose.
I know some folks in our lives.
So when it comes to the money, when it comes to the presidency, these politicians, when it comes to the family structure, when it comes to job security, when it comes to home security. Oh, man. The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart. Depart from what? Well, depart from what everybody else thinks the mark of the beast is. The vain philosophies and ideas and hopes and dreams. And depart from the bar that's serving the wine of Babylon. How about that? Get out the club, man. Get out the club. Leave. Don't pay attention to the music no more. Don't pay attention to the half-naked women. Women, don't pay attention to the half-naked men. Everybody got money throwing it in the air, but they won't let you grab it unless you do something strange for that change. The book of Micah chapter 2 verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. America is not your rest. Jerusalem is. And we'll rest when we get there. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you. Even destroy destruction. Salaki, I didn't. Somebody downstairs. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 5 through 7. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. So you're going to have people acting godly, like they're coming to help you. Okay? But the power of God relies in the book, relies in the scriptures. Okay? So you got to turn away from these people. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive city women laden with sins and led away with diverse lusts. Okay, so laden with sins, you already know what that is. Transgression of law. And that's one thing, as the scripture says, Eve through the beginning of Eve through the beginning. I'm butchering it. Okay, the book of Sirach, chapter 25-24, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Salakia. Kind of threw me off. Salakia, it's kind of loud. Salakia, y'all, Salakia. I'm like, damn, who that making all that goddamn noise outside? I forgot I was supposed to unlock the door. The phone on vibrate. So yeah, of the woman, at the beginning of her, of the woman, from the beginning of her came sin. And through her, we all die. How do I not even know the scripture I was reading? I wasn't reading that. Salakia, y'all. Salakia. I'm gonna put the links in the description box. And let's hear what everybody got to say.
Soundbite on purpose.
I know some folks in our lives who we don't wish them ill will. They say crazy stuff. We're all like, well, you know, Uncle Joe, you know what happened to him. You know, it's okay. They're part of the family, but you don't give them serious responsibilities.
Like you did, you made him your vice president. See what type of games these people are playing? Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Akim, and Aquaf.